Uh, my name's Michael Blecker. I'm the ED of Swords, the Bay Area's leading vet service agency, and I want to welcome everyone to our official groundbreaking of this really exciting new housing development. I mean, you can tell it's going to be great, right? It will provide housing for 62 formerly homeless veterans and 57 low-income families. Really, a very unique project. And so, thanks for coming out of the rain, and of course, the folks who will be living here will be out of the rain, right? This will be their home, right? It'll be beautiful, flourishing. It'll be a key neighborhood, a lot of jobs, a lot of energy. Wonderful. Okay, so really, where else could this happen but really San Francisco, right? I mean, San Francisco really recognizes that everybody is together. We suffer together. We triumph together, right? People that fight our wars really are men and women, working men and women who fight and die, and their men and their families, right? Boys, men and women and their families, and this is the kind of project that they should have, right? They deserve this, and San Francisco has made it possible. So I really want to celebrate the San Francisco inclusive spirit, really, to allow something like this to happen in this spot at this time. And it's significant. And having leaders like Mayor Ed Lee, who really dedicated this property and made sure I really believe it wasn't just, words, it wasn't speeches. I mean, Mayor Lee truly believed that we needed to do something that it spoke to us if we have homeless veterans on the streets of this country. It spoke to us. It meant something to him. And so he proved that by not just words, but sort of making this property available for this project. And we're really honored to have Mayor Mark Farrell here today, another leader in this city, who also understands the sacrifices veterans make. His father was an Air Force pilot. And also we had, in the Presidio, where there's a number of veterans who are formerly homeless veterans who have made the Presidio like a living, true, right, memorial. So it's my pleasure now. I want to introduce Mayor Farrell. Please come up.
So thank you, Michael, and thank you everyone for being here today. This is what San Francisco is all about. When we have struggling individuals, and we are here to pick them up and to build a 100% affordable housing development here in our great city. When we have families struggling, we stand in to help them. And I think, as Michael alluded to, certainly when we have veterans here in the city of San Francisco that need our help, as a city, we stand up for them. Veterans housing is something that is very personal to me. Michael mentioned my father being an Air Force veteran and seeing a number of his colleagues as well from the armed forces. We cannot do enough to support our veterans here in San Francisco. I'm so proud to be here today to partner with Swords to Plowshares and everyone that is here today. And I want to pay a huge tribute to Mayor Lee and his wife Anita, who is here today, and Steve Cava, his chief of staff. Mayor Lee made housing his central platform, but it wasn't just talk, it was action. And he committed to build 30,000 new units by 2020. We are on that track here in San Francisco. But he was committed to people of all incomes here in San Francisco, and affordable housing, I think, will be his biggest legacy here in San Francisco, and something we can all be so incredibly proud of. And also, when you think about veterans housing, this was something that he prioritized, and he knew the sacrifices that our men and women in our armed forces made and continue to make on behalf of our country, and what an incredible champion Mayor Lee was of this project and of so many others here in San Francisco. It's an honor to have, again, Anita here today, and very proud to formally announce that today we are formally dedicating this affordable housing site to our mayor, Edwin M. Lee. And when these buildings are completed, they will bear his name on them here in San Francisco. It is one of many tributes that will happen, obviously, to Mayor Lee, and they are all fitting. But I think today, especially Anita, having you here, is such a fitting tribute. Veterans housing, I couldn't think of anything more appropriate. So thank you all for being here. I do have a laundry list of thank yous that I want to make sure I didn't forget, so I brought my notes up with me. But so for Chinatown CDC, thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you, Reverend, for being here. Michael and Swords to Plowshares as an incredible organization representing our veterans here in San Francisco. Hamilton families, our OCI commissioners and staff. Nadia Sase is here. How about a round of applause for Nadia, please, everyone? She is transforming our city. Yeah, you can bow to her. It's okay. Our Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development, MOCD, thank you for all of your hard work. Obviously, our Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing, and Jeff Kazitsky and his entire team. And a special thanks to our funding partners here, to SF City, to Mark Benioff and Ron Conway, and so many others who played an integral role in this, Sean Parker, as well as the Golden State Warriors. These are individuals and organizations that came together to make a difference. They stepped in when we needed to, and I think they deserve our huge support and our thanks. And I also, again, want to say special recognition not only to Mayor Lee's Chief of Staff and mine now, Jason Elliott, but also to Steve Cava, who is here today for all of his years of hard work on this project as well. So thank you, everybody, for being here today. Appreciate it.
I'd like to, can you hear me? Okay, good. I want to introduce Supervisor Jane Kim. Now, Jane Kim of District 6, she's been a fighter for, as we know, right? A fighter for all the citizens in the Supervisor District 6. We are really, her integrity is up to the charts. She represents some of the most impoverished neighborhoods in the city. She also represents Treasure Island, Swords as a project on Treasure Island, but of course in the Tenderloin, etc. We're just, we're just really happy and pleased, and we feel so honored to have her. So without further ado, Supervisor Jane Kim.
Thank you for that super kind introduction, Michael. I live across the street from the Swords to Plowshare office, so he has to be kind because I might give him a hard time when I walk to work to City Hall as I pass by his office. But it really is such a pleasure to be here today. Groundbreakings are a time that we can really celebrate our achievements as a city in being able to win funding for 100% affordable housing, which everyone here under this tent knows how difficult it is to accomplish. But I am really proud to represent this district, which includes Mission Bay. And I'm proud of the fact that this city has fought to ensure, before my time in office, that this redevelopment area plan would be 30% affordable, ranging from households that are formerly homeless to middle-income housing. This is the type of model neighborhoods that we want to continue to build here in San Francisco. And it will be home to so many of our families who are either formerly on our streets or struggling to live in San Francisco in their working class jobs. And it will also be the home to our new Warriors team, and of course continues to be the home for our Giants team as well. And so there's so much for us to be proud of. I'm also excited because this is a partnership between the city, Chinatown Community Development Center, and Swords to Plowshare, three entities to which I'm very close to. Norman Fong hired me as a community organizer. I know he's smacking his head right now. No, I continue to serve you. It's just these three entities, and both Chinatown Community Development Center and Swords to Plowshare are amazing organizations, and I was able to also cut the ribbon a few years ago with you and Mayor Edley at 50 Otis, another example project. But I can't think of a more fitting site of many, because there will be more to come, that will be commemorating Mayor Edley. Mayor Edley was many things to the city, but the one thing he was very clear about was that he wanted to reduce the number of veterans sleeping on our streets to 0. He was emphatic about that. And actually, he has been achieving and working very quickly to achieve that goal. We in the city have a lot of work to do around our homelessness crisis. But the one arena that the mayor was incredibly successful in was reducing the number of veterans on our street. We've already made a huge dent in those numbers, and this project is going to provide a permanent home to our citizens, our residents that serve our country, our men and women who serve our country. And on top of that, to ensure that families who are the fastest growing demographic in our homeless count today are also a part of this project really just speaks to the tremendous victory on our city on this site today. So Mayor Mark Farrell acknowledged many of the people that made this happen. It takes so many people to build a 100% affordable project. So thank you all to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Kim. So this is a project of the public and the common, and really nothing represents that more than the Office of Community Investment and Infrastructure that makes housing development, nonprofit housing development, possible in this area. And now more than ever, we really need to bring more affordable housing, right? And so to increase programs like this where you have supportive housing, it's affordable, it reaches everyone, every level of income, especially low-income people. It's really crucial. And so I want to welcome Nadia Sasay, the Executive Director of the Office of Community Investment. Nadia, please.
Hello, everyone. I am honored today to be here to celebrate this amazing project in the groundbreaking of for incredible new homes for the low-income San Francisco families and formerly homeless veterans who need it the most. This project will add 118 units to the already 1,048 affordable units within the Mission Bay project area. When I think of how this project came to be, I am reminded by my friend and colleague, the late Mayor Ed Lee, and his response to President Obama's plan to end veterans' homelessness, and his own 10-year plan to abolish chronic homelessness. And I cannot think of a better way to remember our former Mayor Ed Lee than by naming this building after him. So I'd like to thank Mayor Farrell for making this dedication, and I'd also like to thank Mrs. Lee for your presence here today and for blessing this occasion. I'm also very excited that 62 units will be set aside for veterans' homelessness, and these individuals who have served our country should not have to worry about a place to sleep at night. In addition, the remaining 56 units will also be available for low-income families. This project will be OCII's fourth project in the Mission Bay South area, and it would follow the 1180 4th Street project, as well as the soon-to-be completed 626 Mission Bay Boulevard North, just a few blocks away from here. I would like to also commend my staff who continue to work on this project daily. We have Jeff White here and the rest of the housing team. I want to also thank our partners, Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development. Kate Hartley is also in the audience. And more importantly, I want to thank my commission, who have encouraged us to build smart, well-designed, functioning housing. I also want to commend our partners, Swords to Plowshares and Chinatown Community Development Center, whose staff has been just amazing to work with on this project. Also want to acknowledge our construction partners, NIMBY Brothers, as well as Leedy, Maytom, Stacy Architects. Lastly, I want to thank SF City, more specifically the Conway family, Mark and Lynn Benioff, Peter Thiel, Sean Parker, Andrew Mason, Drew Houston, Alfred and Rebecca Lean, and Golden State Warriors for providing this generous donation that got this project up and running. And these funds were able to provide precious dollars and preserve precious dollars for upcoming affordable housing projects. With that, I want to thank you all and commend you all for the great work to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadia. So just briefly, I want to say that now we're going to start talking about the people that have really been doing the work here, making this possible. Now it's their time. So I want to say that obviously a project of this scope is not possible without really people that really know their stuff. And we were so happy to partner with Chinatown CDC, who are really pros. I mean, not just that they're great people and they do good work and their mission is great, but they really are super competent. And I honestly, building housing development is nonprofit, especially that's as complicated and difficult and challenging as anything Wall Street does, quite frankly, and more so. And yet the rewards are minimal, but great from the standpoint of like making a difference in people's lives. So we are so honored to have such a crew of pros, and that includes our own staff at Swords. And I have to acknowledge Leon Winston. Leon, where he's somewhere. What a guy. Leon is our Chief Operating Officer, and it's obviously his passion and dedication go deep. And, you know, he's also a pro. He also knows his stuff. but is committed to the mission as much as anyone I've ever met and worked with. Leon, so much. I also want to say our other partners, again, we appreciate all the private support, but this is, don't get mixed up. This is a public project made possible by the public and the common good. And it's led by the VA that made housing vouchers accessible to us. We have Bonnie Graham from the VA Medical Center at Fort Miley here, and with her partner Joanne Peters, who's always with the homeless, who runs the social work department. We have, of course, all of our partners with the California, the state CalVet people who are here. And I want to say that this project, again, would not be possible without the California taxpayers who back the tax credit bills, the people of San Francisco, right? The VA, HUD, the Veterans Housing and Homeless Prevention Program, the Local Initiative Support Corporation, San Francisco City, San Francisco Office of Community Investment and Infrastructure, all these like acronyms. Who are these people? Well, they're the people that make it possible. They're the people that give the private sector so much backing that they can't help but invest in this. Like the California Debt Limit Allocation Committee, the California Tax Credit Allocation Committee, the California Department of Housing and Community Development, CalVet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's what it takes. So just briefly, other construction partners include Nibby Brothers are general contractors. Nibby Brothers, right? These are all top-notch people. LMSC Architects, Saida and Sullivan Design Partners. Are you guys here, the design partners? Design Studios, Gonzalo Castro, right? From Design Studios, our owner's rep. So let me also now, I want to introduce Teresa Gunn. Now, Teresa is with the CalVet program and really understands the financing of what makes this possible. She helped us develop and support our $10 million grant that was a piece of this project. And it's our friends and partners at CalVet Home Loan that really make this possible. I'd like to introduce Teresa. Could you say a few words, please?
Thank you, Michael. So good morning, everyone. I usually like to start, since I am with CalVet, recognizing our veterans and the veterans' families here with us today. If you're a veteran or a member of the veteran family, could you please stand? And thank you. And thank you all for your service. As a military brat, the families often get forgotten about. Thank you all for your service as well. I also want to thank absolutely every single person and entity that Michael just thanked. Because without everyone else, this wonderful project wouldn't be occurring today. I'd like to extend those special thanks to the Chinatown Community Development Center Incorporated, and especially to Swords to Plowshares, our co-sponsors in this development, and Swords will also be acting as the lead service provider for this project. California has the honor of being the state with the largest veteran population at nearly 1.7 million. With this honor comes the challenge of also having the most veterans experiencing chronic homelessness. According to HUD's 2017 estimates, 29% of veterans experiencing homelessness in America are right here in California. San Francisco has homeless and underserved population is close to about 700 veterans. Currently in California, the homeless vets aren't our only problem. There are more than 100,000 veteran households who are extremely low income. That means less than 30% area median income. And 74% of them are severely burdened, which means more than half of their income is spent on housing. In addition, there's approximately another 100,000 veteran households who are very low income, under 50% area median income, and 42% of them are severely burdened. So with these truths come the question, how do we assist our at-risk veterans and those who are experiencing homelessness? In response to that question, and in show of support from the Governor Brown, our legislature and California voters, the Veterans Housing and Homelessness Prevention Program, or VHHP, was created. And CalVet, our sister agencies, HCD and CalHFA, were entrusted to be the custodians of this program. Not quite 4 years ago, as California voters directed $600 million for the sole purpose of helping fund projects like this Mission Bay, CalVet and our partners set to work to define the VHHP program and set in motion the process for competing for and being awarded the highly desirable and necessary funds to make projects like this come to fruition. Mission Bay is a shining star in the VHHP program for a couple of reasons. One, this is the first VHHP project in San Francisco. Move in out of the rain, squeeze in. I'll be short. We have a couple projects in the surrounding area, but this is the first one that's really going to be impactful for the veterans in San Francisco. And as Supervisor Kim said, the previous mayor's drive was to take veteran homelessness to zero. This project will take almost 10% of those homeless veterans and give them a permanent home. It's just absolutely amazing. Secondly, this project shows how projects should be done, how they should come together, and how they should move forward. Mission Bay is the recipient of the third round of VHHP funding. It was awarded its funds barely 9 months ago, and here we stand with the ground obviously broken and this building going to be erected very quickly here. That is amazing. Many of our other projects get stuck in pre-development even after they have the funding and take several more years before we're at this stage. So fantastic job, everyone involved. VHHP has become a beacon for our at-risk veterans facing potential homelessness and for those who are homeless. Today, that light shines right here in San Francisco. Mission Bay will be a safe place for 62 veterans and their families. Maya Angelou said it best, "The ache for home lives in all of us. The safe place where we can go as we are and not be questioned." VHHP projects like Mission Bay are vital to California, ensuring that vulnerable members of our community receive not only a place to call home, but also the services and support that they need to help stabilize their lives. With the help of our partners here today, at-risk veterans in San Francisco can find a place to thrive. CalVet is here, a trusted partner, working to support, build, nurture local, regional, and statewide collaborations. And as you heard Michael say earlier, local, regional, and statewide, everybody is involved in this project and will make it a success. I acknowledge the hard work, as I've already said before, from our partners Swords and Chinatown, as well as the community leaders joining us today. Thank you for your support. We're all working together to improve the quality of life of our California veterans experiencing chronic homelessness. Congratulations on today's groundbreaking, and on behalf of CalVet, I thank you all for everything you do to help support our veterans and their families. Thank you.
So this is the second project that Swords and Chinatown CDC have developed in partnership. Vet Commons, as we talked about before, at 150 Oda Street, which houses 75 formerly homeless veterans, has been around since 2012, and that was done really funded by the Wells Fargo folks, and we're pleased to renew that partnership. I'd like to, at this point, welcome Jeff Bennett, the Senior VP for Wells Fargo's Community Lending and Investment. Jeff?
Thank you so much. Oops, is this working? Thank you so much, everyone. This is a great pleasure for us to be involved in this wonderful project. We've been working with Chinatown for a real long time, I think since the early 90s. We've done some great things with them, and this is our second Veterans Project with Swords in Chinatown. We closed this project a couple days before Christmas last year. It was a little bit harrowing because the Congress almost took away the funding program that we were using, tax-exempt bonds, during tax reform. Thankfully, it was preserved at the last minute, and we didn't have to go to a Plan B, which would have been a little bit more difficult. I really want to congratulate the development team and thank the folks that worked on the financing, Kim, Janice from Chinatown. They did a terrific job getting this thing done. We're providing most of the private financing on this. We're doing a big construction loan, and we're purchasing the low-income housing tax credits. which means we're going to be in the deal for 15 years at least, so we're a long-term partner. Also want to acknowledge CCRC, who's in the audience. They're providing the permanent mortgage, which is a critical part of the financing as well. And I just want to say that Wells Fargo has been committed to affordable housing for a really long time. We continue to be. It's a huge need in San Francisco and the Bay Area. We're very open for business for affordable housing, and so we hope to see a lot more of these opportunities in the future. So thank you very much, and can't wait for the grand opening.
So again, we're thrilled to work with Chinatown CDC, and I want to bring their experience. As we know, they've developed over 4,000 units of housing, affordable housing. And their ED, the Reverend Norman Fong, has fought for our communities as their ED since 1990. So without further ado, Reverend Norman Fong, please.
You know, Mayor Ed Lee always says he wanted us to get together under a big tent. This is it, Ed. This is it. All right. I'll be really fast this time, but I need your help. You're gonna help me bless this one. We want all the good vibes on earth right here. But I just need to say to Michael and Soares, raise your hands. Thank you. You know, it adds so much meaning in life when we know that our job is to get all the vets off the streets. And they can do it. I mean, they deliver the heart and soul. We can do a little housing and, community services for the families on that. But I just want to super thank Soares the Plowshare. And you've added diversity and meaning to our work in Chinatown. You know, that's what San Francisco is supposed to be about, right? Embracing diversity. So today, y'all should be like super smiling in the rain. Life is tough. Okay. Yeah, you got it. But I mean, we're here with under this big tent, at least tent, to wish all these good blessings on this site and what it's going to be. All right. So I need you to kind of yell after I yell a word. All right. May the spirit of peace, joy, hope, and love. Embrace this wonderful new, let's see, what's the name? Ed Lee Veterans and Family, whatever. You know what I mean. Anyway, this place. And turn to the person to your left and right and go, peace, brother, peace, sister. All right. That's it. We're done. Hey, do we get to do the shovels now? Michael, you're in charge, Michael. Are we doing the shovel stuff now?
Here we go.
Okay. And then look at me when you're done doing the shovel.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dig it! Can you dig it? All right. Yeah.
Over here. Look at me. And that's beautiful.
All right, you got it?
Congratulations. Yes.
Hey, Leon.